in the house.
Yes. So you should know your woman
Yes.
before you join this particular promotion.
But that's a difficult thing. You know your woman. So
Yes.
Aristotle died and went to heaven.
Yes.
And then he asked God, you gave me the power to understand mathematics, physics, literature, this. But one thing, then God said, what? He said, I don't understand one. Then God said, look around you. Do you see a woman around you? The day you understand women, you become me.
Okay, guys, so once you understand your woman and you know she will say yes, all you need for you to do is to walk in with your ring. This will be a beautiful surprise for her. So please don't tell her, but be sure that she is the one and she will say yes to you. Here is what to do. Send us at least 3 loved up photos of you and your partner, how long you've dated, how you both, what you both do by way of work, and why you think it's time to propose and why you think she will say yes. This is beautiful. Send your entries to 05511119997 with the hashtag proposal on joy. Deadline is 7th February, and this event will take place at a very serene environment. It's supported by Labadi Beach Hotel, Proposal GH, and Achediefie. Love indeed is beautiful, just like what Shami Kwame's Love Lockdown with Anika in Singapore. Bra Kwame, welcome to Showbiz A to Z. Let me also welcome my other guests right now. So we have with us Dr. Joseph Benning, who is a physician specialist. Sir, welcome to Showbiz A to Z.
Thank you very much.
Let me also say a big welcome to our dietitian and author. His name is Wise Chukudi Lecha. I got the name right? Yeah, okay. Welcome to the show. And he's also an author. He has this great book, Be Your Own Dietitian. So after today's program, you can have this book. You read the book and then you can be your own dietitian. We are very, very, very happy to have all these personalities. We'll be joined on phone by Dr. Nana Dansua Niama, who is a psychiatrist at the Panton Hospital, and also artist managers, 2 of them. George Britton, who is now in Britain. He's an artist manager. And then Bulldog or Bull God, who is also in the US right now. They will be on Zoom to speak to us. Yeah, let me say hi to Dr. Nana Dansua Nuyama, psychiatrist at the Panton Hospital, right now joining us on Zoom. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to Cheers listeners. Hi.
I hope you are doing well.
I am. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to have you.
Great. Happy to be here. Happy to join virtually.
Wonderful. So, guys, today on Showbiz A to Z, we are coming to do a discussion on creatives and their health. Yes. You see all these beautiful musicians, talented musicians, actors, actresses. You see fashion designers, you see radio presenters, and all these people in the creative industry. They need something to keep them moving, and they need to be alive. They need to be strong. They need to be sane. They need to be healthy to produce whatever they produce. But most of them, most times, don't pay attention to their health. That is why we're here today. As a creative industry, we are here to offer advice, expert advice to these people. Now, before I even go to the professionals, let me stay a while with Shami Kwame, who is also a wellness enthusiast. Because Shami Kwame, will see him, going on doing exercises. Shami Kwame doesn't eat this kind of food, that kind of. And people keep asking, how have you been able to keep young at 47? What's the secret? Let me ask again.
Wow. So before I even answer your question, let me say thank you very much for holding this very program.
Yeah.
When you invited me to be a part of this panel, I almost cried. Because this is journalism.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still touched. This is journalism. This is proper backward integration. This is looking at the people creating your raw material.
Great.
Artists, entertainers, painters, and saying that how can we help you guys move forward? Like the I'm happy that this is not a program about gossip, about who slept with who.
Joy FM.
Charlie,
doesn't
Joy
do
FM.
that. We don't-
God bless everybody to Kwesi Chum.
Yes.
This is beautiful production. So, with that said,
Great.
What's my secret for staying young? Good genes. God. We can't take the God factor out.
Exactly.
Of it because God gives everything, so good genes. But if we put the God and the good genes factor out, as the doctors say, that is the genes that will pack the gun, but the lifestyle will pull the trigger.
Okay.
So it's good genes and lifestyle.
Wonderful.
I have come to a point where I love myself so much that the most important thing that I spend 80% of all my reading is about self-development and self-health and mental, awareness and gut health. And so I've spent for the past 25 years, at least every week I go to the gym 3 times.
Wow.
For the past 25 years.
Past 25 years?
Yes. If your Chambi Kofi will be my witness.
Huh?
Yes. Because I started going to the gym when I used to live with him.
Okay.
When I used to live with him in America.
Okay.
So he knows. So every week,
So you went to the gym together?
No, we didn't. He used to laugh.
I won't ask any further questions.
I beg you.
Bravo,
Let's
Fimi Chow.
So I work out.
Yeah.
Because, and then apart from working out, I also fast. So for the past 3 years, I try my best. Sometimes it beats me, but most of the days, I eat my last meal at 5. I don't eat again until 11 in the morning.
You don't take anything at all?
Maybe I'll drink hot chocolate, cocoa, without sugar or honey or anything. And when I'm hungry and I'm going to sleep, I want to sleep on an empty stomach. So that when I'm...
Is that not punishment? Are you not punishing your system?
No way.
I'll come to the health professional later, but let me stay with you for the time being.
There's nothing that brings you real joy or real satisfaction that you don't have to sacrifice something sweet for. Nothing in life. If you want to enjoy your marriage, you have to stop chasing small girls. So there's the sacrifice that every day I try my best. Not every day. Sometimes maybe it's a party in the night, and I must eat. I'm hungry or something. I didn't follow the routine, but I fast every day. I try to fast at least for 15 hours during my sleep, and when I wake up in the morning. And then I also like to know what I am eating.
What do you eat and what don't you eat?
So I don't eat negative news. So this one has killed that one. This one that I don't eat that. I don't eat mundane entertainment. Music that's saying curse words and talking about guns and killing and using verbal taboos. I won't consume it. I will not consume animal fat. I won't consume animal fat. I will try my best. So I make a conscious effort to move away from the consumption of things that will lower my vibration.
Wow.
Yes, I don't consume fighting with my wife. Once there's a certain level of agitation in my house, I find a way to calm this because that particular energy can disturb my emotions, which will eventually come and disturb my cortisol levels and go and affect my insulin. So it's about consumption. So I do not consume things that will lower my immune system.
So what do you consume?
I consume food that through recognized patterns. So when I eat, for example, when I wake up in the morning and I drink my celery juice with ginger in it, and I see that I become bright, I become sharp.
At what
Even
time
when
in
I
the
go
morning?
to the gym, maybe 6 a.m. before I drop the children, I just do my shot of celery or beetroot or some green thing, a kakadro and lime or something in the morning before, so it gets straight into my bloodstream. I realized that I become very sharp even when I go to the gym.
Okay.
So that one I consume. And then somewhere around 11, I'll eat my eyokoko with granules and some sugar measured and kose in the morning, which is a complete diet, proper, everything, protein, everything there. And then around 4 o'clock, I'll eat my fufu with nkatikwai or abenkwai and seitan or tofu or something, which is also a complete diet. I'm done. Or when I'm in town and I'm not at home to get fufu or banku or something, I'll eat my gabins with cocoa and gari and some vegetables. Complete. This is what I eat.
That's it.
Yes, done.
Do you take in alcohol?
No, I don't.
At all?
At all.
Not even 1%.
No. Zero alcohol, because it's a depressant. The next morning, if I don't take another one, this alcohol will come and tell me that I'm having withdrawal symptoms. And one of the people that I drank it will call me, and then before I realize I have become an addict. I do not want anyone or anything to influence me to do anything.
Well, have you ever tasted alcohol before?
Oh, yes, of course.
Done that in the past.
I've tasted alcohol, but I don't drink.
Do you smoke?
At all. When I was a kid, maybe twice.
You tried it?
Yes, cigarette butts.
As old as at what age?
Oh, maybe the cigarette butt. I grew up in Kumasi, so maybe 7 or something. You find cigarette butts, and they go.
Yeah.
But for marijuana, I tried maybe in my 20s.
You had started music?
What?
Were you in music then?
I have been a musician since I was 5.
Okay.
So, but I'm not a smoker. I won't smoke.
Okay.
At all. Even if you put a gun to my head.
do you fall sick?
It's been a long time. So the last time I was sick was when COVID came and I went for my shot. When I took the COVID shot, then I got COVID. But apart from that, I don't remember ever becoming sick.
Really?
But no. But 7 years ago,
yeah,
I had a mental meltdown.
7 years ago?
7 years ago.
A mental meltdown?
Yes, before I turned 40. I became very sick. But apart from that, I don't think that I've been...
Oh, what happened?
Oh, so... Well, I used to write for Ghana Web. I had my own blog on Ghana Web.
Wow.
Yes, for a long time ago. And before I turned 40, I wrote an article on my fear of the big 40. So all the things that I was afraid of. I was afraid that my audience are going to grow and into now, at that age, they will shift into managerial positions and I want to listen to Amachide instead of rap. And lose my audience share, and the young ones will not identify with, because I remember I used to tell my mom, hey, where the 40 when you knew? So I knew that exactly, I knew that I was about to grow old and I was hitting midlife and the crisis came with it. So I don't know what had happened. That fear of the big 40 that I wrote about, it came to roost. And then during that period, I remember I went to Takrade one time to go and launch a single, and nobody came to the event. Very few people came to the event. And that night I cried.
7 years ago?
7 years ago. And I'm thinking, I'm losing it. I'm no longer going to become a Kwame. And, this whole music thing is built on a certain social value validation. So it's about how many people are following you on Instagram, how many people have subscribed to your YouTube channel, how many times the DJs play your music, how many people. That is what a hit is. When there is a social celebration of a song,
yeah,
then the song has become a hit. And you are an artist to eat because you are creating hits. And the demography of people now in Ghana, of the population in Ghana, is that the age range is between 21 to 23. So if you are 40, these people can no longer identify with you. Then it means your career is about to crash. So at that time, that was my perspective. And because that was my perspective, I thought so much, I worried so much that I destroyed my whole system.
Wow, you got depressed?
Oh, completely.
How did you come out of that?
Well, so I went to the hospital. I was just telling him. I went to the hospital. I went to see a general family doctor.
Yes.
I went to see a family doctor. they gave me, so not just, I didn't just get depressed, I got depressed. My LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, went up to 4.6, and the threshold is supposed to be 3.0. You know, so it went up to 4.6. It affected. I was used to wake up every day with headaches. Every morning, wake up with headaches. I had angina pains on the left side of my chest, and I had a referred pain coming from my hand, through my left hand.
Hey.
You know, so I thought I was going to die, and that fear of about to die also depressed me.
Hey, what's happening? You really
suffered. Downward spiral.
You really suffered.
Yes, and this thing that I'm talking about went on for about a year. So, doctors put me on 2 medications. They put me on one for BP, and then I think it's a Medin 5 for cholesterol. I mean, they put me on another one for the cholesterol. So, I took the medicine. My wife said, "No, you are too young and too skinny to fight these things. And you work out, you know, so how can we deal with it?" Then the idea of eating well and making sure that what are some of the things that are, what are the stimulus for these things? You know, so the doctors are giving medicines, are giving great advice. I used to have back pain, severe back pain. I could only sleep maybe 2 to 3 hours every night. And I love my sleep, you know, so the back pain, I wake up in the morning with backache. Maybe okay. I wake up with back pain. And then, so one young doctor, his name is Dr. Ferry, he asked me, for your back pain, try chiropractor. And then I went to this fine lady with very nice hair, Nova Center. Let me mention her name. She's done great for me. You know, so she massaged me and fixed my back. She'll be using a certain gun. I went for 3 months, and then I realized that the pain started going down.
Wow.
So when my back pain started going down, then my chest pain started going down, and I started rejuvenating. You know, so after a while, I also did some reading on my own, and I realized, okay, red meat is also part of these problems. It stays in the system for too long. Digestion is eating at night. Then I started purging myself of some of these bad practices that my parents had introduced me to. And then I became vegan. So I became vegetarian for about 3-4 years. Then 3 years ago, I said, no, complete. So when I became vegetarian and taking some of the medication, my LDL came to 3.6. Then I said, how can I do? So I read myself, and I saw that, okay, if I take out meat completely, it could help. Because the same time I stopped eating red meat. I was eating a lot of shrimp because I like kenke and shrimp. Not knowing that the shrimp, there's something there.
There was something in it.
Shrimp and egg. You know, so I say, hey, you know what? Me video. So I stopped eating it completely. And in 3 months, my LDL went to 2.4. I felt great. I felt energized. Even my eyesight, which was deteriorating, started coming back. I could now read some things. It didn't come back completely. And my doctor is telling me, come back. I think your eyesight is doing well. Let us correct it. I said, this is it. So I started paying attention to what my body is saying. There are some foods that I eat, wake up in the morning with sort of gastric ulcer. Then I stop eating, it doesn't come again. So if I go to bed before I eat at 8, I wake up feeling weak. Then I eat at 4 and go to bed. If I eat beans, lentils, soy, I feel great. You know, so then I said, okay, I'm going to listen to my body and respond to what it is telling me to eat. That's the story.
That's it. Wow. Joe 99.7 FM, Kwame Kwame here with us on Showbiz A to Z. And today we are looking at how to ensure that our creatives live a healthy life. And so we have all the health professionals right here together with Kwame Kwame. We'll be speaking to artists, managers, George Britton and Bulldog as well. On the show, already we have Dr. Nana Danswa Nyama with us, who is a psychiatrist, Panton Hospital. We have Dr. Joseph Benning, who is a physician specialist. And we also have Weiss Chukudi Lecha, a dietitian and an author. And he has a book titled Be Your Own Dietitian. He also has this one titled Live Long by Eating Well, and another one titled Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases. So, yes, that is what we're talking about today. Before I come back to Shami, let me go to my health professionals and speak to them. Let me come to you, Lecha. So you've listened to Shami Kwame talk about, what he eats, what he doesn't eat, and all that. What do you make of that? Is he eating well?
That's a conversation I have to have with him.
Okay.
And before we enter the studios, we already set a tone for that. So it's going to continue. But then one thing I want to commend is, that stood out for me, was how he personalized a plan or an action or an activity that was good for him. Right? Until you get to the point where you begin to love yourself or see things through personal lenses, you will not be able to take charge of your health. Right? One thing I see with patients is that when the doctor tells you this condition will give you stroke, or this condition can kill you, or you're at a point where something bad will happen, that is when people get serious. They come back to themselves and begin to take good care of themselves, right? Especially when it comes to eating. Unless you decide to eat well, you cannot. We can give you all the nice tips and correct your diet and plan for you and all that. But then you will not be able to do anything. For all the creatives out there, my first advice to you will be to begin to love your bodies. Bible says that it does not profit a man to gain the whole world and lose their soul. I want to paraphrase that in another way. How will it profit you to have all the followers, to have all the money,
the hit songs,
all the hits and all that, and then you have to deal with a terminal condition or a bad disease that will not make you enjoy your life, right? So take good care of yourself. Now, we talk about planning to eat well, which should be part of every creative's lifestyle, right? If in the right sense of the word, you should have a management, you should have producers and all that. You should have a medical team. You see, personal doctor, you should have a personal dietitian that would be giving you tips or advice on what to eat. Right? So that you can actually enjoy your life. Like my brother Ochami Kwame said, I mean, anything that will bring down his vibration is not going to allow it. So you have to plan to eat. And then another thing I picked from his submission is that he knows what to eat. You see, if you don't know what you eat, I think a few weeks ago on Ultimate Health, I was trying to share a bit more light on that over here in this studio. The first step to eating well is knowing what you want to eat or what you must eat.
So it doesn't work for everybody. One particular food doesn't work for everybody.
No, you see, if you take food, just to address what you just said. The same food, same quantity can make me put on weight. But for somebody else, that's what they have to eat if they have to lose weight, right? So even in planning diets and doing diet therapies for people, we personalize it based on their composition and their medical history, right? So that is done. But then we must know what we want to eat. Food happens to be one of the list of the considerations for many people. It's like you plan for your work, your car, everything, your family and everything. But when it comes to food, it's like, okay, somebody will go to the market. Like it's something you can buy easily. So we don't pay attention to it. But then it's something that really determines how healthy we are. Right, so the person who coined the saying that you are what you eat. I've been looking for that person to congratulate them.
Ochami Kwame, are you sure you are not the one who said that?
So you see, that is so important. And I remember when we were growing up, there used to be menus in the house. Like Monday to Sunday, breakfast, lunch, supper, something pasted in the kitchen or somewhere in the house. So the whole family knew that, okay, Sunday afternoon is going to be fufu and granite soup and goat meat. Weekends, usually you get jollof and stuff like that. That is something that we have thrown away. But I advise that we go back to such behaviors. Now, if you know what you want to eat,
okay,
the next stage is to prepare for it. You gather your ingredients. If you have the right foods or knowledge of the right foods, then what you are going to buy by way of ingredients will be right. Last time I was talking about fried eggs and boiled eggs. The fried ones are unhealthy. The boiled ones are healthy.
Oh, really?
Now, so we want to prepare fried eggs. You need your egg, you need your oil, tomato, people add sausage and a lot of things. Sometimes when I do the exercise among my audiences during seminars, I get about 15 different ingredients that people use to fry their egg. That is complex, right? It's complicated and it's more costly.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to the boiled eggs, for example, you need only the egg.
Okay.
So I always try to use this to teach people that food that will be healthy, that will give you long life, like I said in my book, it's very easy and simple. If you look at the examples that Ochame gave, I mean, the beans and cocoa and kose, I mean, these are things that they are easy to get. They are available.
But in some people's minds, they think it's for poor people. Some of these basic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you want to eat rich.
So a lot of the time too, when we have the rich guys and we now cook the healthy food for them, maybe in the hospital setting, it doesn't look really like what they would naturally go for. Right? So those complex materials or food are the ones that will cause you all the problems. Now you have another thing I always encourage is preparation of stews and soups way ahead of time, right? So the stews, Chami was talking about red meat, right? He has cut red meat completely, but when I engage him one-on-one, there's a way that you can eat your red meat and it will not increase your cholesterol, right? By taking out the fat. So the problem with meat is the saturated fat or the oil. Meanwhile, when we go to the market, mothers and wives and house helps and all that, when they are buying meat, they ask for the fat so that the soup will look nice and beautiful, right? So again, some of the things that look so colorful and beautiful and so sochi and nice are the ones that will cause us all the problems. So you can use the same red meat to make soup which will not move your LDL at all up, right? You can use the same meat to prepare soup that will increase it.
Wow.
The regular stews that we eat, especially if you buy food, the oil, you have to swim through oil to reach the material of the stew, right? And then those oils are also overheated. And the overheating increases saturation, it increases the composition of the trans fats and the bad ones, and that can increase the cholesterol and cause problems for blood pressure, cause heart diseases, and all these things, right?
Okay.
So if you have not taken anything at all from all the plenty things I've said so far, keep your food simple.
Okay, I'm not done with you yet, but 0551111997. You can send in any questions you have for the my guest today on the show, Showbiz A to Z, Joy 99.7 FM. We're having a discussion on how to keep healthy as creatives. Yes, creatives. We have a number of other people on Zoom. Dr. Nana Danswa Nuyama is a psychiatrist at the Pantan Hospital. We have George Breton, who's artist manager. I'll come back to Mr. Lecha, who is a dietitian and author, very soon. I have some specific questions regarding creatives for him, but let me go on Zoom and speak to Dr. Nana Danswa Nuyama. who is a psychiatrist at the Pantan Hospital. Doc.
Hello.
Yes. The last time I spoke to you, I think we did spaces and we talked about mental health of creatives. Now, talk to us. What types of mental disorders are usually linked to creatives?
Okay. So it is great to talk about these subjects because we get to see quite a lot of issues. Well, because one, they are human beings, right? So apart from being a creative, basically, they are human beings. And like all individuals, once you're alive, you have a body, you have a brain, you're at risk of having, just like how any other part of your body is at risk of having some conditions, your brain also and mind is also at risk of having some issues. When you come and narrow down to creatives, during Oshan's delivery, he mentioned quite a few of them. So I could pick up that there are issues around mood, suggestive of depression issues. So that was one. And there was some anxiety concerns. And those worldwide are the most common mental disorders. Anxiety disorders are the most common. And then also depression come following right suit. And so those tend to be quite common. And basically, you should bear in mind that as we talk about the social validation issues, creatives feed on being validated, on other people appreciating them, their talents, their work output, but also in an essence, you yourself are a brand, and so the extent to which your brand is appreciated, is purchased, and how well it's doing takes a toll on an individual. And so it opens them up for a lot of these disorders because your validation is not your we will say was a lot of the control is not intrinsic, but it's extrinsic. Like external factors are determining how well you feel about yourself. So if you don't really work towards you grounding yourself in your self-worth and who you are really opening yourself up to a lot of these conditions. Then again, I must add, substance-related disorders tend to be another big thing with creatives, and especially the young ones that are coming up. The trend has been that now you have young people who believe that by using some illicit substance, cannabis, some tablets, amphetamines, hallucinate, all kinds of things, by taking them, it makes them more creative. It makes their creative juices flow. And mind you, we are all different. So someone might take it and seem to have no issue, but another will take it and they're in a psychiatric hospital or they need some form of support mentally because it has really gone through their minds, literally, as we would say. So those tend to be common conditions we tend to see with persons who work in the creative field. Ultimately, yes.
Doc. Hello? Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Okay. Still on Joy 99.7 FM, we're speaking to Dr. Nana Danswa Nyama, who is a psychiatrist at the Pantan Hospital. We are looking at artists or creatives and their health. Let me quickly come to Ochame, then I'll get back to Nana Nyama now. Ochame Kwame, the perception that when you take in drugs, you take in these substances, they increase your creativity level. Is it true?
Completely. When I was young, when I was coming up, I remember that's all I heard, and see my father, excuse me, my father was afraid that I would become a musician because he was afraid I would become a drug user and a drug addict. Most fathers who say they won't let their children go into arts is because they're afraid they will abuse drugs. So I remember we go to rehearsal, some of the musicians who were ahead of us, some of media people say, oh, Charlie, you are going on stage, you have the butterfly, which is natural. Charlie, no, Kebibi, Shibibi, take this pill. the butterflies
So it gives
go
you
away.
self-confidence. It boosts your confidence level.
Exactly. So it lowers your inhibitions, and once your inhibitions are lowered, you are able to express yourself, which is true. But what happens after that expression? You know, but to tell you the truth, to answer your question, it is true. I heard it like a million times. But before, my father made me promise that if he's going to allow me to become a musician, I should promise him two things. That one, I won't use drugs, and two, I will get at least a first degree. You know, so because we fought from when I was 14 up until I was 21, that he said, okay, go ahead and become a musician.
Okay.
You know, he started from beating, from talking down, from holding me, from me, you know, and then when I was, by the time I was 20, he realized that I would be a musician. Then he said, okay, these are my anxieties. Promise me you won't do these two things. Then I will let you go. And I made a promise. But I kept hearing everywhere, going to play a show in Europe. Immediately you land, the first two people that will come to your hotel, they will bring weed. They will ask you, where should we take you for the girls?
So it gives them wild ideas.
Yes, so they give these young people wild ideas and tell them that if they are going to be successful, they need to do, of course, or then they will mention some names of some artists who also used drugs and became successful.
Wow.
And then once you start, they will start buying it for you for free. But once you become addicted,
then you buy it
then
yourself,
you have to buy it
and buy
yourself.
some for them.
Yes.
Let me go to Doc on Zoom. Doc, Nana.
Yes, hello.
So we're just talking about how some people perceive drugs as, you know, things that really increase or make the artist's creativity wilder or sharper. Is that true?
Exactly so. And mind you, now there are lots of substances, there are lots of things that people ingest that you just can't even imagine. But the common ones, yes, of course, you've been hearing about the cannabis, and then the alcohol. Alcohol is one of the most common, the nicotine, and it's always laced with something before we move on to things like the tramadols and the cocaine, heroines, and the variety and the nature in which it's coming now, it's just scary. And now we kind of try to make it look as though it's nothing major. You know, it's like the norm. It's the practice. And if you are odd, if you're not doing it, so that peer influence is extremely big. Now we have you'd have even nicotine coming in forms that will make it, it's not a cigarette you are using, okay, so you are now using it in this other form, as shishas. It's like it's part of our norms. And the young ones who are coming up, when you hear, I want to go into music, I want to be creative, then it's kind of, for them, it's a no-brainer. It has to be linked in there. And that's marketing of it is quite worrisome, because it does have impact on the person's in individuals' functioning, okay, and how they think. It does take a huge toll on the individuals. And once they become addicted, or as we would say, dependent on these substances, you know that it's a long fight that you have to go into, because then from there it's a day-to-day decision on not using these things. And the toll goes beyond your career, because yes, it would impact your functioning. You can't even thrive well, you can't even excel as much. Then it takes a hold of your relationships, how you're handling your finances. 360, it affects individuals to a large extent. And once you have these conditions, mind you, mental health conditions, they always come easily linked. Okay, so it will follow up with your depression coming in as well, with suicidal ideations and thoughts about you not being wanted, and it's better if you're not alive. These things are very real and that come up. And considering all the pressures that come along with these fields as well, the expectation to be something that's you think everybody's expecting you to be. So you have to kind of put up a certain front. Even if you're not happy, you should be on social media being the happiest. Even if you don't have the funds, you should be everywhere showing that you have the money. Money you don't have, you want to show that you have. You know, so that pressure people put on themselves is a lot of stress, extensive stress. Okay, and now with this advent, it takes a huge toll on person's self-worth. Okay, so the anxieties will keep coming. And when you have things like depression, it's not just in your mind. It takes a toll on your physical body. When you have depression, pains that you feel in your body, you would think it is someone who has beaten you, but then it exacerbates every physical symptom you are experiencing. Okay, anxiety, you think you can't breathe, you are choking, your life is coming to an end. These things are so real and close to us until individuals really decide that, look, I am more important and I'm going to prioritize my well-being and take charge of it. Would have creators who are at increased risk facing a lot of these things, and oftentimes in silence or behind the shroud of all of this glamour, suffering to large extents.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Nuyama. Now, let me speak to George Britton. He's a talent manager, manages Camido. He's managed artists like Ketcher before. George.
Yes, Kwame. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Very well and cold,
How is the UK?
It's good. It's calm. It's very calm.
It's calm, eh? Yeah. Okay. You are a talent manager. Let me ask you, what is your role in ensuring that your artist is healthy or sound?
Well, listening to what Kwame and the doctors have said. I think we are not doing a good job. We're not doing a good job in the sense that we are very concerned about. I think one thing that I am more concerned about is the mental health of the artists, and then the food comes on. The cook comes after. But listening to what my brothers have said, I think we've got a long way to go. Fortunately for me, Camido is an artist who does not take in so much food. He eats very little, but unfortunately we don't pay attention to the things he eats. So it might be very little, but maybe the cholesterol level and all these things might be high. I mean, with me especially, a week ago, I went to the GP to check my my health, and I was told that the cholesterol level was high, so I got scared. So
George, on a lighter note, somebody is saying that my producer is saying that you've been eating Camido's food.
No, I don't. No, there's certain with regards to us is because for the past 2-3 years we've been on the road. All we eat is the fast food from the hotels and at the restaurant, So I think this very program is a big education to me, and that we're gonna take very good care of our food. I mean, this week I was wondering why Kwame is looking like this with his beautiful boxer shorts. I now know why Kwame is looking like that. You understand?
Wow. Now, so do you have regular checkups for your artists?
Yes, we do. I mean, fortunately for us, Dr. Grace Bachman from
Sonotech.
Sonotech is a very good friend. So right from the beginning of me and Camido's team, he was in the picture. She was in the picture. Every now and then we call her to let her know Camido's not feeling too well. He feels a bit weak, this and that, because especially when you have a heavy engagement, so we try as much as possible to communicate with her, even if not physically being present at a studio. Sorry, at a clinic. So that is something that we do often. But hey, we know how tough this is. Like the doctor said, what you eat, and I think all of us will have to take key from this, and not just the artists here.
Wow, has your artists suffered any form of mental disorder before? Has any of them gone through such a situation before?
I think yes, I would say Camido. Camido is one that is going through that period. So at the moment he's dealing with a specialist, to take him through. Now this is what happens. Usually when you listen to the songs these guys make, you can tell the state in which they are. He is in that space, or he was in that space, and I think we did a good job by getting the professionals involved to help fight it. Yeah.
Okay. Bulldog is also online right now. Bulldog is also an artist manager now. Currently, he manages Vanilla. Bulldog, good afternoon. Okay. Should I say good morning? Hello, Bulldog.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
I am blessed. Yourself?
Fantastic right here. We miss you, pal.
Charlie? I don't miss you guys though.
You don't miss us.
No. I mean,
are you saying you're not coming back?
Oh, I am definitely going to come back, but where I am right now, my head is cool, so it's better. I need a cool off. You understand?
I understand you, boo. I understand you. Yeah. But as an artist manager, how do you ensure that your artist is healthy?
Okay, so let me say this. Good afternoon for the opportunity, and everything that everybody said in the studio, I think is top notch. As one of my roles as a manager, right? Because I play different roles, depending on who I'm working with or the clientele I'm working with at a specific time. What I tell my clients all the time is that you are your first manager.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so you are your first manager, right?
Yes.
And then you are responsible for yourself. I'm hearing my brother George, and he admitted, maybe he as a team, maybe in his team, based on the submissions of the experts in the studio, have not been doing a great job at taking care of their health and all that. I'm very, very, very laudable about him to accept that whatever. But my thing is, everybody, when Ochami Kwame spoke, Ochami Kwame says something. You are responsible for yourself to start with. So nobody should come and tell you, do this, do that, do that. You understand? So first and foremost, you know that. And the question here is, at which point do you meet an individual before you start a professional journey? We get on as professionals. A manager is supposed to assemble a team to help you professionally, unless the manager is a health professional or health is part of the profession. You understand what I'm saying? So nobody should come and tell anybody what they need to do for themselves. They need to know.
Bulldog, are you suggesting that the artist manager has no role in ensuring the wellness of the artist?
That's not what I've said. So listen, our biggest problem, and I've said it on other platforms or plenty platforms, is that we have.
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay, there's a health gap, right? I've said it on the platform before. There's a health gap. So I like this discussion that is going on. My point is that you are responsible for your health. Nobody else is. You are responsible as an individual. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we worry about our clients. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we worry about ourselves, because if you are not healthy, how can you take care of your client yourself to start with? You yourself need to be healthy to be able to now advise your client on being healthy, because you also need a sound mind to manage that sound mind. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my concern is huge, but my point again is that first concern, and I keep saying this all the time, the artist has to be their first manager. So let me give you an example. George started working with Camido not too long ago. I'll say 2-3 years. Before that, he had done Keche, he had done Dr. Nilante. Now, all these people that I've mentioned, George met them on the way. What were they doing with their health before that time? It is now George that is coming to manage them and tell them, don't smoke, don't drink, and shit tampe. No mean quine. Please. Let's be realistic with the situation we are talking about. So you see what the doctors are saying and the health experts are saying. It goes to all the clientele, and I'm hoping a lot of these artists are listening. Your manager should not call you in the morning and ask you, have you done your morning jogging? Hey. The artist, they call me to ask me, say, I do my morning jogging. We all need that thing. So my point is, you need to be responsible for your health. The artist is not a baby. It's not a 3-year-old. It is not. They are not 1-year-olds. They are not 2-year-olds. These are adults we are working with.
Okay, Boo. Just a minute. George has a question or a submission to make now. George.
Sorry.
Yeah, George. Yes.
I honestly think where Bulldog is coming from is not something that, he's not speaking like a manager. Reason being that as a manager, it is your duty. It's your duty to cater for the artist, regardless of the situation around him. I mean, from health to performance to everything else, it is your duty as a manager to make sure that the product that you are launching or the product that you're selling is in the very best of shape. So yes, I need to be concerned about the food that we eat. You get me? So I don't have to say, okay, before I met Kamido, he was drinking water, so yeah, keep drinking water. I mean, the levels keep growing. Yesterday we're performing at Eninem, today we're performing at New York. You get me? So we need to grow, and how do we grow? We need to be very physically, spiritually, mentally healthy. And so therefore, I think I need to be concerned about as a manager, because I would like to see my artists be on stage, perform healthy. I want to see my artists in the studio record well, so the intake of water, the intake of other liquids, the type of food that he needs to eat to gain energy. Listen, before I go into this space, I didn't even know banana gives more energy. I saw, I thought banana was just giving you a good voice or whatever. But then I realized that it equally gives you some level of energy. So, I mean, yes, I'm not an expert, but I learned along the way that, okay, this guy is weak from performing, from flying 9 hours across America. He needs extra sleep. He needs this type of food to eat and this type of drink. You get me? So I wouldn't say, yes, I'm only here to put together a team or committees and things like that. I need to be concerned about. In as much as I need to be concerned about myself, I equally have to be concerned about the artists, because at the end of the day, that is a product or a brand that is bringing me money. You get me?
Yes, exactly. Boo. Yeah.
So I think George Britton missed the point. The duty of an artist manager is to assemble a team, and a health expert is part of the team. Listen to what I'm saying. That's what I said before. I am saying that you don't wake up in the morning like right now. Have you called Kamido to ask him, Charlie, you chop your wheat?
But Bulldog,
No,
do you guys, as in, does your management have a team, a doctor or a health professional on the team? Do you have that?
I like this.
In most
I like
situations, you don't have these professionals on your team. So are you not the one to lead the artist to the professional?
So look, me, I will not sit here and come and be political. I'm telling you the truth. We don't have them. Do you know why we don't have them?
Why?
Hello? Good. So I just met Kwame Dadzie. Kwame Dadzie comes to me as a professional, says, oh, Boo, I want you to sign me on to Boo House Entertainment because I have this talent.
Yeah.
Good. They didn't come to me that their head was paining them, or they get a body odor, so make her fix it. Now, what am I saying? What I'm saying is that and this is the truth, this is what is happening on the ground. Now, so when Kwame Dadzie comes, my first concern is the problem he brought to me. Now, I'm assuming that at Kwame Dadzie's age, he might, through that journey, have had health issues. And he solved the health issues by meeting a health expert. So now, that health expert, I'm hoping Kwame Dadzie still has a relationship with. So anytime there are health issues, even under my care, Kwame Dadzie will go back to that health expert. Look, so I'll give you an example, right? when I was working with Xylophone, I was managing all of them. The Shatters, the Stone Boys, the Kumi Guitars and everything. There was a time Kumi Guitar had his blood pressure like shoot up. Yeah. Now, Kumi Guitar went to see his doctor. His doctor, because he has history with the doctor. What we did and what I did as a label boss was to go there, make sure he was being taken good care of, and I paid the bills. Am I making sense to you? So we shouldn't sit here and be, well, you see, George is trying to be political, and this is our problem in the industry, and he knows it. Say, you didn't know, wait, please.
Okay.
You didn't know banana gave energy. Is it your duty to know banana gives energy?
Bulldog, I'll get back to you. Thank you very much, Bulldog, the artist manager. Yes, it's getting hot in here. Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z, and we are looking at how to make our artists responsible for their health, whether they're managers or they themselves, but how do they ensure that they're healthy? You can send in your questions, 055-1111-997. I have in the studio Kwame, who is a musician. I have Dr. Nana Dansua Nyama on Zoom. Also here with us, we have Dr. Joseph Benning, a physician specialist from the Central Dansuman Clinic. Then we have Mr. Lecha, who is a dietitian and author. George Breton and Bulldog are on Zoom as well. They are talent managers. Let me go straight to Dr. Joseph Benning. Doc, how important is it for everybody, including creatives, to do periodic checkups?
All right. Thank you very much thanks for the opportunity. I must confess, I'm loving the discussion. And, big up to Ochame Kwame. What he said was a complete case study. In fact, we could do the whole program
with him.
I'm telling you, it's serious.
Yeah.
And big up.
Yeah.
He's not called a rap doctor for nothing. now I understand the doctor aspect of his name. Trust me. And I'm really impressed, Ochame. I'm not just saying this to flatter you. I know he's been in the health space and he's doing a lot to help. But before I even come to that, this I don't want to even call it discussion between George and Bulldog.
Bulldog, yeah.
Everybody is right. Bull is saying what is the reality on the ground.
Okay.
He's not going to. He doesn't want to try to pretend like we are doing what we are not doing.
All right.
I don't know whether you get me. And I think it's why the discussion is important. And George is also trying to give his idea of what should be done, the right thing that should be done.
Okay.
So basically, it's calling for change. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
We are not doing it then. Do we need to do it now? Yes, we need to do it. Because our creatives they are national assets. All of them, they are national assets. They bring us money and they bring us fame as a country. We feel proud of them. Whatever they do is for Ghana and it affects all of us and even affects our health. The truth is that as creatives, we need to have regular medical checkups. Some usually recommend a year, but you see, we are, the discussion was going on earlier on. We are all different. And that is the truth. We are different, and it's where Ochame started from. He said genes, that is genetics.
Okay.
So those are things, we call them non-modifiable risk factors or non-modifiable factors. You can't do much about it. Your age. If you are 47, next year you'll be 48. You can't reduce your age. During COVID, people were saying that, this year I'm not going to add the year to my age because, it doesn't work like that.
They have taken the COVID year out of their age.
Taking the COVID year out. You can't take the COVID year out. So you can't do much about that. Are you male or female? Now people are trying to do, but I mean, if you're male, you're male. If you are female, you are female. You can't do much about that. And then your genes, your mother, your father have come up to. So you inherit some things from them. So before you even, try to put up a medical screening or checkup for any, creative, you really need to know all this. Which kind of family is he coming from? What does the mom have or the dad have? Is the dad hypertensive? Who is asthmatic? Who is hypertensive? Who has sickle cell in the family? These are all important, and even cancers. There are some cancers that pass on from one to another.
Okay.
So once you are in that family tree, you are more likely to be prone, or you are prone to having that kind of cancer. So it's an individualized thing. You know, you can have a general thing where you say, oh, every year or every 6 months, come for a checkup, blah, blah, blah. But now, you see, the onus should not only be on the artist, although it's their prime responsibility or the creatives to take care of their health. But by and large, you see, human beings, we are very complicated. When you leave us to do things on our own,
you do what you want.
We do what we want. So then you need someone to oversee what you are doing. You know, it's your responsibility, but you are an asset to me. I'm your manager. When it goes well with you, it goes well with us. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. Exactly. So you should also take interest. Have you done your medicals? The person, the creative doesn't need to change their personal doctor. No. If I have my personal doctor, like Ochami was saying, and I was very impressed when he said, I went to see my doctor. That is his doctor. His doctor will know much about him than me. I would.
Let me give you a scenario.
Sure.
So, in the case of an up-and-coming artist, somebody, a fledgling artist who is not well-resourced to even pay for a personal doctor, how does such a person go about, ensuring that they are well, they are healthy? How do they do that?
All right. Thank you very much. So one, sometimes we create the impression that we health, you need to spend a lot of money in order to be healthy. Backstage, I was discussing with Ochame Kwame. The focus should be on preventive health. Preventive. Once you prevent the thing from coming, it's more cost effective than waiting for the thing to come and then trying to treat or manage it.
Okay.
So if for nothing at all and you can't afford anything, do you have an NHIS card? Something as simple as an NHIS card, even if you can't afford much. But we know most of our creatives, have the means to. That is when you should be able to take interest as a manager. Okay, can we have a health plan, or who can we connect with? Maybe some doctor here or doctor there. Can we have a plan, simple plan? Most doctors will do it, even, trust me, for nothing.
Okay. They
will be delighted to help. So can we have a plan? How many artists do you have on your bill? Okay, are they willing to first? It borders on confidentiality. So are they willing to be screened? And who do they want to share their health information with? So once you have the discussion going on, then you can plan an individualized screening for each and every person. And it may differ. Some may have need of more regular checks than others because of the risk factors that they would have in their family, sitting down with them and then trying to take their history and all that. But the minimum we usually would recommend is at least once or twice a year. At least go have your checks, because our creatives are more prone. We know, we've discussed, a lot has been said already.
Okay.
Lifestyle factors, there are so many of them, so you need to know at what time, where is our artist now? Are we anticipating any complications? What is going on with this person? And it doesn't have to be, have you eaten? Are you drinking? No, it's the doctor that needs to have that conversation. And if the doctor feels that at some point in time, things are getting challenging, the doctor will discuss it with the creative.
All right.
We have challenges. Would you want me to discuss it with your manager? Because it's borders on confidentiality.
True.
Those are the ethics that guide the profession. If the artist decides that, okay, I want to share it, or you've come to that consensus that, okay, let's share the knowledge, of the creative's health with the manager, then the manager would know what to do or decide what to do. So it helps you manage, your creatives very, very well, and they're able to last longer, and they're able to perform better, and they're able to, you're able to get the best out of them.
I was about asking, how is the artist's health related to the performance? Let's say a musician who would mount the stage to perform. How is the artist's health linked to the performance on stage? Ochame Kwame, let me come to you before I come to my chief moment.
Everything, my brother. The artist, so for example, sometimes I do an Ochame Kwame concert in say Sefi.
Okay.
Just me and 2 up and coming artists. I'm supposed to start performing from 11 o'clock until 4 a.m. Playing songs back to back with the band, doing this, talking, laughing, cracking jokes.
Yeah.
It is only possible when I am healthy. And in this case, my mental health.
Okay.
Very, very important. My vocal health.
Okay.
It's very important. My lung health, my gut health. How physical am I? Am I able to stand on stage and jump up and down and shout and scream? Endurance, resilience for 3 hours.
You've been doing that?
Yes, I've been doing it. But it's because I work out. They say the same way.
But I know a certain artist, just 5 minutes.
Hyperventilating. Exactly. It is because he's not been working out.
Yeah.
I remember when I was coming up, I was very fortunate to be talking to people like Gentry and other things. I remember a long time, I think in 95, he told me to go and go to Mikao Beach.
Hey.
Yes, he told me to go and run at the beach whilst I'm singing.
Wow.
I remember a long time ago, I met him in Kumasi, maybe 95.
Okay.
And so the stage presence, the aura, the endurance, all of that is dependent on the preparedness or how well the artist is prepared. So if you are an artist and you are depressing, and you go on stage and someone throws one pure water at you, or one of the people says away, immediately you going to break down, have a nervous breakdown.
I get you.
Go and blame the security for not holding everybody's mouth, and now you go out here and blame management for allowing that one bad egg to pass through. So it is very important for the artist to be healthy.
Great.
Extremely important.
Great. Chief Moment.
Yes.
Are you healthy?
Well, I hope so.
Do you have a personal doctor?
I mean, well, not. I don't have a personal doctor actually. Yes.
Do you exercise? How frequent do you exercise?
I actually deliberately walk.
You walk?
And I don't know if I walk because of the exercise value or because I think better and create better when I walk.
Really?
But I walk to air my mind out, to think, but also walk just to get some physical activity. So
wow,
that is about the most deliberate exercise.
What the distance of walk?
Oh, I mean, at the best, I'm able to do like 10,000 kilometers a day.
Hey,
cumulatively, at the best.
Wow.
Yes, at the best. That's if I'm deliberately doing it. So maybe morning, afternoon, but maybe in the evenings I do walk like an hour and a half. And sometimes I go through phases. So I go through phases where I do so actively, like I'm walking literally every day, and then I go through phases where I just find it difficult to summon the energy to walk. So I have to learn. I mean, when I learned that this program was about health, and my big brother Kwame Kwame, I was like, oh my goodness, I was like, he is the man to talk, right? Me, meat-loving carnivore, cannot compare myself to this herbivore. And he did mention genetics. It's in my genes to actually eat meat. Those of us who come from the north, we grew up watching our fathers buy roasted meat.
Is that genetic?
No, it's genetic.
Doc, is that genetic?
That's a learned behavior.
Look at this chief saying eating meat is genetic.
I was using genetic in the artistic sense.
We are not doing poetry here.
Actually, I can even say it's genetic. I mean, because we're hardwired to eat meat, right?
We have this conversation again.
We have this conversation again, right? No, Doc is here. Aren't human beings, kind of like programmed?
Yeah.
How did our ancestors discover that they had to eat meat, right? So there's a part of our system because there's nutritional value in meat. So intrinsically, it is intrinsic to our system to eat meat. We are carnivores.
Let me go to the dietitian. Please speak to Chief Moment for me.
Let me just help my brother out here.
Help him.
You see, when you come to my home today, and you open my fridge or freezer, and then you go to my father's home, you do same. You are going to draw similarities between the kind of foods I stock and what they have in stock, because that is what I was brought up with.
Okay.
Right. So learned behaviors can become so much part of us that if we don't take care, we can misinterpret them as being genetic. So I agree with you to some extent, right? But then these are still behavioral stuff that we can modify, right? We can change as and when we have to change them. Yeah, you said that meat is nice, right?
Well, this is
And,
nice.
we
are hardwired. But it is nice.
right.
I agree.
But then there's no point in having to avoid meat to be healthy.
Okay.
You just have to eat it
right
to be healthy. So everybody can enjoy the niceness or sweetness or whatever we get from meat. But then the fat in meat, once we are able to remove the fat, and then we don't fry it, we don't eat large portions and all that, then we are going to be good, right?
Okay. Are you asking Mr. Lecha or Chief Mumin? Chief, okay.
Okay, so
Okay,
I just wanted to chip in a bit on
Okay, please finish.
why the linkages between performance levels and the health of the artist.
Good.
Right. The first thing is energy levels, right? And you have to eat well in a way that your body is able to distribute, first of all, digest, then break down, assimilate the energy molecules well. And then the body conditions itself. There's a stage at which there is glucose in the blood. There's also glucose stored in the muscles. There's all that as backup to help you when you go low on the levels in the blood. Right?
I'm not cutting you. So the artist is mounting a state to perform, maybe in 20 minutes.
Yes.
Is it right for the artist to take in glucose?
No. You have to actually prepare the body way ahead of the time, right? And it should be a lifestyle such that the body, that's exactly what I was trying to explain. The body should know how to manage its energy resources through healthy eating. So you eat regularly, you don't just eat as and when food is available. You have a plan.
All right.
You are regular with your breakfast, lunch, supper. You get the right portions and all that. And one of the things that artist managers have to start doing is to include dietitians or nutritionists in their team as well.
Hey, so it means they are having everybody, psychiatrist,
a lot of
dietitian.
Exactly. A lot of the time, you know, artists can mount the stage and have maybe a hypertensive emergency, and then that cuts the whole business. The performance is over. Artists can even suffer cardiac events as and when. So if they have, that's my next point.
Okay.
If artists have these chronic conditions, they have to be managed well, and not only with medicine, but with eating. Right? Eat right to keep your sugar levels at the best levels for a longer period. You have your glycated hemoglobin and all that being managed well. You know, one of the earlier speakers mentioned that the artist, I think the psychiatrist,
yes,
Dr.
Newman,
is a human being, and that human being has to be kept well.
Good.
Right.
Good.
That human being can have diabetes. The fact that you are diabetic doesn't mean that you cannot do any profession. That should not exempt you from being whatever you want to be, right? You should be able to just manage that condition. Then you can go. Diabetics are even playing football and doing all sorts of things, right? But then they manage themselves well, and that's just the point we are trying to put across. Thank you.
Is there any food that can be used as a substitute for exercise, so that if I don't want to exercise and I can take certain type of food while I exercise?
It's a big no. It's a big
I'm
no,
asking for
right?
Chief Mumin.
I am not against exercise. I actually like
combination between how well you exercise and then Ochami mentioned the exercise and that's very, very, very important, right? Performing on a stage and even using your brain to know the lyrics, no matter, even if you are a poet and all that, you should be able to energize the brain cells and so well,
that's how
so that you can your muscles and everything has to be in good tone and all that. You prepare yourself for good circulation, good distribution of oxygen and food nutrients, and all that by exercising, right? And also you maintain the right kind of weight that can boost your health in general and also boost performance, how long you stay on stage and all that. But then all these things have to be managed well. The human being also needs rest, right? So at the end of the whole spectrum, we should chip in good programs for relaxation, help, resting, for vacations and all that.
This Christmas they play shows back to back to back to back to back. Oshame Kwame, your question to Chief, then I'll add mine to it.
Oh no, let's
okay.
slide. Oh, is that about me? No, yeah. So I was going to ask you that if the way your fingers are, the way your teeth is, the length of your intestines, if I gave you the opportunity to chase a rat in the bush, catch it, use your teeth to rip off its neck, and then put it in your mouth, without having to add vegetable oil, without having to add jene, meko, pepper, you can't eat it. So if you think that you have been made as a carnivore, rethink it. Because we need the debate.
No, with Kwame's orientation. With Kwame's orientation, I know where he's headed with it.
Yes.
Chief Mumin.
Yes.
So we live in an industry where it's even difficult to get a manager.
Yeah.
Let alone get, let's say, a dietitian, a physician, a psychiatrist. How is the creative going to, be able to patronize the services of all these professionals?
Well, I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to individual responsibility, because these services are not volunteers. You have to pay them. That is why if you look at the teams of, high-profile artists who can pay, they have all of these people on payroll, because the artist is the investment. So they make sure that everything the artist needs to be, healthy and perform well. That's why Beyonce can give birth and go on a routine, on a diet, on an exercise regime, and is back on stage giving, powerful performances. I mean, that's one of the things that our artists don't actually do very well in our part of the world. Maybe because our schedules may not be as grueling, but we know that the artists out there's a whole deliberate effort to craft the kind of person they should be, sometimes even to the extreme that it may even cause stress, mental health. I mean, look at the length at which Michael Jackson went, to keep himself the way he was supposed to do, because sometimes some of these people, they have to then rely on some kinds of drugs just to be awake, to be active and all of that, So there's also the extreme end of it. But I think that in our part of the world, it starts with a consciousness, an understanding of health and issues of living a good health. Sometimes people just live their lives let me say on an automatic role. So you just wake up, you eat anything, you have some physical activities, you go perform. So if you do not start with a deliberate consciousness and deliberate understanding of health needs, you may then be living your life on the road. So personally, I had, at least over the years, have developed a deliberate understanding. Whether I have gone beyond that understanding to making deliberate effort is one thing, but at least that understanding is there. And I mean, to give myself credit, one of the things I'm very particular about is my green tea. Green tea and lemon. I mean, almost every morning and every evening I have my green tea, because these are antioxidants. They also help, the immune system, and they help aid digestion. So even as I am eating my meat, I actually make sure that at least before I go to bed, I'm having my green tea, I'm having my lemon. I do a lot of coconut water. As well, because of its ionization. Right? Yeah, electrolytes, So I'm actually very deliberate about these things. Great. And even the food I eat, I watch my portion sizes a lot. So I can hardly eat a full bowl of kenke. So portion size is important. I make sure that when I'm eating, I don't get too full, because when I get full, especially when I eat in the afternoon, it can knock me out. So I make sure that at least my portion sizes are reasonable. Wow. And last year I was actually deliberately doing intermittent fasting. You can actually see. Let me stand up and do the 360. Let me sit down. Yes. I mean, I'm not craving ab because
no, we need to see before and after.
I'm not craving the ab because I don't see myself as a hot figure like Oshame Kwame. You'll never catch me in a boxer shorts.
You want trouble.
I'm always in trousers.
You want trouble.
In my branding. Yes, but I So I used to do. Last year I deliberately did a lot of intermittent. So I wouldn't eat until like midday until December when I traveled out of the country for 2 weeks. I was staying in the hotel. Yeah. Hotel breakfast was quite encouraging. So I went back to having breakfast, but till this day, actually, usually if I would eat around 11, 12, in terms of my regular dieting. And then in the evenings, I try to also do that thing where you stop eating at a particular time. So I think there's a 11, 14-hour window between the time. Because me, I don't sleep early. So, for example, even if I eat at 9 o'clock and I go to bed like, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, I still am able to have my time. So, yes, I think that for the artist, what is important is first being conscious of your health needs, being conscious about your insulin levels, the kind of amount of sugar you take and how to balance it. Because if you don't have that consciousness, then you're already slipping. But at least if you have that consciousness, then you can then move from consciousness into action. Obviously, that action requires a certain regime of discipline, the likes of which Ochame Kwame has mastered, going to the gym every year for 25 years. I've been going to the gym with my mouth, you
have been walking.
I walk because the gym also for me appears to be like, I'm a man for someone looking sexy beside
but before we move on, Lecha, is there any food you can take to give you six-pack if you don't want to exercise, hit the gym?
I think what you need to do, there's no nutritional pill like one food that you take, then you get a six-pack. I mean, there are elements of what Chief Mumen mentioned that I advise everybody to adopt that can eventually give you the six-pack.
So that you will not even hit the gym again and you get a six-pack.
No.
You have to do your morning.
You do. You should eat well.
That's painful though. It's very painful.
Right. You
ups and planks.
You need the exercise at the end of the day. Otherwise, you will still not be able to shape those muscles in the belly area to give you the six-packs, right? And eating well during the day is something that keeps coming up, and I think it's good that Ochami mentioned it and Chief Mumen mentioned it, that he doesn't eat in the night and all that. If you want six-pack, you don't have to be eating in the night or heavy food, or high caloric food or energy food in the night, right? Earlier in the evening you finish eating, and that's good. You include a lot of vegetables in your food. And when we talk about vegetables, it's not just salad. You need more of the contumely, the local ones, the ebunebunu soup and all these things, the cabbage stew and all that.
All right.
Make it a point to have vegetables with every meal, right? Include fruits in your day's routine.
High fiber.
And the only thing about all this, one overarching principle is to ensure that you manage the portions. Because too much food. In fact, if you have to get satisfied on 2 balls of kenke, I can declare you as someone who is overeating.
Just 2 balls?
I tell you.
Why are you insulting me?
But the 2023-24 ball is different from.
Yes, because the ball. Which one? Is it the 5 CD or the 3 CDs one?
That's the right call to make. The balls.
Which one? The 3 CDs? Or the 5 CD one?
The bigger ball.
The
so
bigger
that
one.
should be like the 5 CD.
Like the 10 CD.
Right?
There's no 10 CD ball.
But then I agree that these balls are smaller now.
Yeah.
But then, like when Chief Mumen was speaking, I wanted, an idea came up that, Charlie, these things that you are doing, you should still talk to somebody. You should still have a dietitian. If or a nutritionist you talk to about your food, right? Because a lot of the time we come across patients or clients who are doing stuff, they are getting results, but at the end of that period there are complications.
All right.
So people can do stuff, they eat once a day and all that, they lose weight, but they have the cholesterol that we are all afraid of, right? So you get a flat belly, but your blood becomes bad.
Wow.
You see, so you talk to the professionals, we chip in 1 or 2. If you do about 6 out of 10 of the things I would tell you, you get all your results, right? So it's not always that, we are so strict and hard. It has to be done 100%. No, make an attempt. But then, speaking to the professionals, if you go on the net, there's so much out there that you can read and practice and get your results.
Wonderful.
Then the person who has written and posted that thing doesn't have your medical history, right? So what can be good for somebody, person A, might worsen the sugar level or the cholesterol BP of person B, right? So, and then we should also learn to be healthy or lead healthy lifestyles. You know, you do this stuff over and over again. You repeat the good habits, and it becomes part of your life. I often jokingly tell my clients that, oh, what I've just told you is the way God wants you to be eating, just that you didn't know. From today, you know. So take it along, right? So once you practice this stuff, it becomes part of you, like exercise. People who really, really exercise, at a point, they didn't like it. But then when they started, and then they started reaping the benefits.
Yeah.
When the exercising begins to release feel-good hormones into your brain and relaxes you and calms you, you would want to do it. So it becomes like an addiction. If you don't get to do it, you are not going to feel all right. And also when it comes to how long people exercise, for example, you start slow, 10 minutes. It gets to a point, 10 minutes will not be enough for you. Naturally, you want to go more, right? So these are things that we have to, the start can be difficult, but when you get into it, letting go can also be difficult, right? So I just want to encourage people to start taking some baby steps.
Good one there.
Do some good stuff, and then they will be healthy.
Good one there. Mr. Lecha there, he's a dietitian and author, and we have on Zoom Dr. Nana Danswa Nyama, psychiatrist at the Pantang Hospital. Ochame Kwame is a musician, and also right here in the studio we have Dr. Joseph Benning, a physician specialist at the Central Dansuman Clinic. George Britton is in Britain. He's artist manager. He's on Zoom, and we have Budok as well. We've been talking about artists and how they can make sure that they are healthy, because a healthy mind thrives in a healthy body. Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Kwame Dadzie. Show brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, you can send in your questions. 055-1111-997. We're back.
Hey, Ma, the way you're always getting alerts these days, I won't be surprised to hear that you have gotten a Momo for Business account by my next visitor.
Oh, I'm already on Momo for Business.
Since when?
Since. Now, it's easy to apply for a merchant SIM. All you need is a registered MTN number, your business certificate, your Ghana card, and you are good to go.
Sir,
you think you are the only one who knows what's up, eh? Look, I just dialed *5051#, selected register, and the region I was requesting the SIM from, and waited for my SMS with my reference number. You can even go online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh and complete the details for an even better experience.
Hey, Grandma Momo.
Sign up for Momo for Business the easy and simple way. Just visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh or dial *5051# and follow the prompts and be on your way to owning a Momo business account today for free. MTN.
Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories. In the engine room, we have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
This Valentine, Joy Prime brings to our viewers another episode of The Most Photogenic Couple. Send us a photo of you and your partner with a short voice note or short message telling us how you both met. Send it to WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. These will be posted on Joy Prime's social media using the hashtag MCP, hashtag Joy Prime. The pictures with the most likes and comments across all platforms will win. The lucky couples will receive all expenses paid guaranteed one-night romantic getaways, spa day for two, candlelight dinners, as well as unique gifts from our sponsors. To enjoy the beautiful love stories, we have put together our 12 Days to Valentine's special TV show, which begins from the 1st of February till the 12th of February 2024, 4 p.m. each day on Joy Prime. We will sit with the selected couples, listen to their love stories, and get up close and personal whilst playing games. Deadline for submission of entries is the 7th of February 2024. Joy Prime, your ultimate experience.
This Valentine, Roverman Productions in partnership with National Theatre and Joy FM presents an Uncleboy classic and happy wives confuse husbands.
So tell me, when is my birthday?
You said?
When is my birthday? Loving husband.
Your birthday?
Yes.
The 30th. You see, I told you, I remember. God, you know, go shame us down.
Okay, 30th of which month?
It's 30th October.
For your information, my birthday is the 30th of November.
It is the 30th of October.
It is my birthday, and I'm telling you it is November.
And I am your husband, and I'm telling you it is October.
Hey, shame! Shame!
Shows on the 14th of February at the National Theatre. First show, 5 p.m. Second show, 8 p.m. Rate 200 Ghana cedis and 300 Ghana cedis for couples. Buy your tickets via short code *365*535#. Sponsor Ebony Condoms and supported by La Palm Beach Hotel and Decocraft Ghana Limited. Producers of Kibi Chocolate. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
There's going to come a time that the church will rise as the highest of all the mountains, and saviors will be raised in the church to deal with the world system. And let it be now. We need to have a national focus. We don't have to lose this ambition, or else we work against the Great Commission.
They are equipped in righteousness, the agenda to possess the nations. Welcome to an equipping center of the word and prayer on Pentecost Hour. Pentecost Hour comes to you on Joy 99.7 FM, 1:30 p.m. every Sunday.
Welcome back, Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and we're still talking about how to ensure that creatives live a healthy life. Yeah, we have in the studio Chame Kwame, musician. We have Dr. Joseph Benin, physician specialist. We have George Britton, artist manager, Bulldog, also a talent manager. Then we have right here in the studio Mr. Lecha, who is a dietitian. We have Dr. Nana Danswa Nuyama, psychiatrist at the Panton Hospital. Show brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, superstar multi-food drink. But talking about MTN, it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for Business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple and fast. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompt, or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. You'll receive a reference number which you can use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Note that application is free. Free. So do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on Play Store and App Store. It's Africa's time. It's AFCON time, and GoTV is here to bring you all that you need to know. Is it all the action, the drama, show-stopping goals, and even the qualification calculations you want? We've got it all for you, because AFCON isn't just AFCON without you. From the 13th of January to 11th February 2024, experience all 52 games of the Africa Cup of Nations on GoTV. Cheer boldly and loudly for the Ghana Black Stars. The Ghana Black Stars. For your living room as they go for glory. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But of course, still you can follow You can expect the best analysis and documentary or commentary from our experienced pundits. What is there not to love? And if you're on the go, never miss a moment of any game card at all on Go TV Stream. Go ahead, reconnect and stay connected on star 759 hash and be parts of the thrills. Go TV, love it. Now, every drop matters, yes, just as every penny counts. Did you know that good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance cost? I'm telling you. So take no risk in times like this. All you need is value for your money. So look no further, drive to the next Petrosol fuel station. Yes, Petrosol for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, filled with smiles, drive more miles, and save some money. Petrosol, your clean quality fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. This February, it's all about love. As Joy FM helps you to propose to your loved one, your girlfriend, the woman you want to marry. There is another way you can also enjoy yourself this February. Now, let me ask you this. Are you in love with your lover? If you can hear my voice and he is sitting next to you, please ask him now. Say, baby, are you in love with me? Then you get ready to ignite the flames of passion as we present a heart-throbbing experience like never before. It's the King of Hearts, Kwabena, live on stage with the Queen of Love and Soul, Becca, at the Vitamilk Love Night. Valentine's Day, February 14, at the Grand Arena at 7 p.m. sharp. Yes, the most romantic night of the year is finally here. Take the Love Road now and get a ticket for 300 Ghana cedis or 500 Ghana cedis. That's for double. At kbkbmusic.com or dial star 714 star 700 hash. Yearning for an exclusive VIP experience? Call 0243 528 412 or 0247 297 409. Do that for table reservations now. It's Kwabena and Becca live on stage at the Vitamilk Love Night alongside superstar appearances by your favorite artists. This is supported by Joy 99.7 FM, produced by Ghana's best in the business Image Bureau, and brought to you with love by Vitamilk. Still here on Joy 99.7 FM is Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie, show produced by Philip Nye, Anita Tay. Chris PK is on social media. We're streaming live on Facebook and also on www.manjoyonline.com. And today we've been talking about artists and their health. Already some of your thoughts here. You can send in yours now. 055-11-11997. 055-11-11997. And I have some of your messages here. This one says, I think George and Bulldog are saying the same thing. The difference is just how Bulldog is putting it. A manager is responsible for the artist's health as well. Just that it works best when the artist takes charge of it. But in case where the artist has a difficulty, the management has to take charge. This is BB from North Kaneshi. This one says, my name is Kwame, Spintex Road. I didn't get what was said about eating eggs. Okay, eating eggs, yeah? I think Lecha was talking about the fact that it is better to eat the boiled egg than to do either fried egg. Okay, so that was what he said. I have another question here, and this one actually goes to Chief Moomin. Yeah, Chief, please listen to this one. So you said that you can eat at 9 p.m. and sleep at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. We're asking, is that a good practice, since the issue with eating late at night is with the time we go to bed after eating? Okay, so this question should go to Lecha. Yeah, so please, you can also send your question right now, 055-11-11997. So since people are asking questions that Okay, questions about dieting. Let me go to Doctor. Let me go to Mr. Lecha. So, the first one, would you want to, expand on it? The egg thing.
Yes. So I think you
basically that.
That's all we communicated.
Okay. Then let's talk about.
We are not saying that people shouldn't eat fried eggs. Just that it's better if it's boiled, right? And then the second one about the night food. I'd see a lot of interest in that area these days, especially when we are discussing already. You see, the night food hardly gets digested as quickly as is desired or expected. So that is why when you eat in the night, you can actually set the stage for maybe a pot belly or general obesity or high blood sugar and all those kind of problems. Now, what I've seen or what actually is the case among night eating is that it doesn't get dealt with by staying awake in the night, right? So you can eat at the 11 p.m. and go to bed at 3 a.m. If you don't eat that food at 11 a.m., probably you ate it around 7 p.m.
Yeah.
After a while, so let's say a person A is having the supper by 7, and then going to bed at 1 a.m. Person B is eating the supper at 11, but going to bed at 3 a.m. With time, the one who eats that food in the night is more likely to develop a negative health complication compared to the one who eats it earlier, right? So it's always better to have, especially the heavier foods or what we would term high caloric stuff, earlier in the day and not in the night.
This is also very necessary because, our creatives usually work deep into the night. Most of them, they are playing shows, they are recording songs, they are awake writing poems, screenplays and all that.
There's a way out. So if you have a well-planned life, as regards what you eat and when you eat, you would have your proper supper, if it's fufu and palm nut soup or whatever. You have it around 6:30 p.m. You are still awake doing stuff. You go for what we would term low-calorie snacks. Things that can keep you going but will not necessarily give you as much energy as the heavier foods.
Okay.
Right. So for example, a cup of tea without bread, right? It can keep you going. That warm cup, it's hitting up your mouth and your throat.
Okay.
Can give you that energy jolt psychologically.
All right.
And then you keep going, knowing that if you added the bread, you are going to add more energy that the body will be keeping as fat or turning into sugar that you will not burn, and then set the stage for a sugar related condition.
All right.
You can also always have salads with some protein. So we spoke about boiled eggs earlier. You have your vegetable salads with some boiled egg, and you chew that even at midnight. It shouldn't cause you diseases.
Okay.
Right. And soup. Let's not downplay that. Light soup. Fish light soup with chopped garden eggs and chopped okra. I think we'll have to, Doc, we have to find an injection for you.
No, when you said the light soup, I got excited because one of my favorites.
You can dislike meat.
But you don't like it with fish.
Oh, no, but usually light soup, they say one good.
So for the purposes of people like Chief Mole, you can have your meat without the fat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You like the fat too?
I actually do a lot of a confirm.
Make it dry. Yeah. And those ones, to the energy they'll give you will be less, right? So at least it doesn't.
I do a lot of a confirm, which I know is almost.
Yeah. So at least you're escaping the bad animal fats and all that. So you see, those are some of the ideas for the night. So a light meal or a low calorie stuff in the night can keep you going, knowing that your health is important.
Awesome. Let's go on Zoom again. I think Budog has a question for Dr. Joseph Benning. Budog. Hello, Boo.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I understand you have a question for Dr. Benning.
Yeah, so my first question here is, how long does it take for food to digest in the body system?
Okay, so this is a question to Mr. Lecha.
Bulldog, thanks for the question. Give or take up to 6 hours. By the 6 hour, whatever you've eaten, digestion would have been nearing conclusion and assimilation. So the brain begins to even go low on energy, and then or sense the low energy in the system. That is why we feel hungry. So when you eat breakfast around noon, I mean a normally functioning body, around noon, midday, you should necessarily feel for another food, meaning that the levels of the food have gone down and they have found a place for them to be used. But then people do feel hungry even much quicker sometimes, and also depending on what they eat. Some people, when they take porridge, within an hour they want to eat something again. Some people, when they take tea and bread, it's so light, within a few hours they'll feel hungry. But then a lot of the time too, that sensation for food too soon after a meal is actually thirst. So when we are thirsty, sometimes it feels like we are hungry. So especially if it's so close to your meal, I will advise that you don't go for food or a drink. You rather go for some water. It might just settle that feeling or craving, and then you can now wait for the 6th to 7th hour. Then you have a meal again. Yeah.
Okay, Boo, are you okay with it?
Yes, but I have a second question. But before I go to my second question, so then, is it safe to say, based on your explanation, for me, my understanding is that then it's safe to say that you can eat at any time. It doesn't matter the time. Once you are going to be mobile, you should be fine. Digestion will take place. So it doesn't matter when you eat manke 2, shwani 3, manke 12.
Mr. Leja.
Okay. this guy is making me laugh today. Now, it really matters when you eat, right? You can, if you have an understanding of the quantity of food that you should have in a day, you can actually split it into smaller meals. It can be up to 3, 4, 5, 6 small meals throughout the day. Just that by the end of the day, you don't exceed the quantity that you are supposed to take in, or calories that you are supposed to put in the system. But it really, really does matter. I have been involved in experiments where you see people's blood sugar rising when they eat a certain piece of food in the night. The expectation is that after a meal, 2 to 3 hours, if you check your sugar levels immediately after a meal, or just few minutes after a meal, it rises because the energy has just come into the system and it's available. And then when you move around, you start doing your work, walking, it gets dissipated. So 2 hours after a meal, glucose levels should be reducing to normal. This will happen, let's say you eat a ball of kinke. If we weigh it, same ball, we give it to you at midday or around 1 p.m. By 3 p.m., your sugar levels should be showing a sign of coming down back to normal. But if we give you the same ball of kinke at 12 midnight, at 2 a.m., the levels will rather be rising, right? So there's this
because
thing
you are...
Because, first of all, you are less physically active. And even if you are...
What about those who work
at
night?
Yes. If you
24-hour economy.
Yes, if you are in that category also. I have a lot of clients who, though they work in the night, they're active in the night, they still have the diabetes, the hypertension, the cholesterol, and all that. Their argument usually is that, okay, I'm eating the night, so I'm working the night, let me eat. But then it doesn't work the same way as if you ate during the day. When global temperatures go down, metabolism is not as quick as it should be with the sun. So that is another factor we should consider.
Okay.
Right. So no matter how active you are, you can still have some aspect of the food remaining in the system that will give you challenges. It's quite different if it's not a thing that you do every day, right? But if it's your lifestyle, you may probably end up having to pay for it.
Okay, Mr. Lecha, thank you very much. Boo, a minute.
My last one.
A minute. George has a question too, so that we just move to Mr. Dr. Benning.
So now, in all the things I'm hearing, we hear cholesterol, we hear fat, we hear all these things, right? Now, my question is more like a philosophical question than a health question. I'm saying that if fat has been advertised to us that it's been bad since the time we grasped, like our memories were set right, why was fat created in the first place? Does fat have any good thing? Now, same thing for a mosquito. I've never heard the importance and good things about mosquitoes. Every time mosquito is giving malaria. So I want to ask this question.
Okay.
Wait, I don't feel. Is God a fool for creating mosquito and fat and all these things? I beg. This is my question.
Thank you, Boo. Let me take George's question and then we'll answer the two questions. George.
This is the code, so I understand. Okay, good. So Kamido and sometimes myself, we do go through, the multivite drip because we realize that, after moving around and, losing a lot of energies, we go to the clinic and get some multivite drip. Is it good, and how often can that be taken? Does that also replace some of the supplement that we need in terms of, getting energy for our roadworks? Secondly, the studio. Usually artists do work very late in the night, so you find the artists work pretty late into the night, and around 2-3 a.m. that's when they go get some wachi or some food to eat before they go to bed. Now, what are some of the dangers that are bound to happen? Because this is something that happens 3-4 times in a week, and after studio, the next thing is either drink more water or drink more something, go and sleep. What are the dangers ahead? So that's, and the vitamin thing. That's my question here.
Okay, thank you, George. Let me come to Dr. Joseph Benning for the first question. Did you hear?
I think if I heard him right, George was talking about taking. I don't know whether it's the drip or the oral multivite.
Right. No, the drip. So usually we go to the clinic, especially in Accra. We go to the Revive Ghana. So they put a drip, this yellow, I think it's vitamin C or whatever it is. They put it on us, and you regain the energy that is lost. So the question is it good, 1, 2, and how often should that be done? Especially in the case where we have very little time to sit at home and rest. And then again, we need energy on the road all day long. So is this something that we can rely on and say, listen, we can do this 10 times in a year, or we need to fully rely on food supplement?
All right, thank you very much. So, those things are really not advisable, trust me. And if you're going to take anything by IV, you really need to be sure what the constituents are. If it's just vitamins, you get vitamins from food. Why would you need to take vitamins through your in the intravenous form? There are occasional instances where we may admit people that may not be able to feed or have certain specific vitamin deficiencies that there may be the need. And when Ochame was talking, he even made mention of being a vegan. Being a vegan comes with, depending on the type of vegan that you are, if you are a very strict vegan, there are certain types of vitamins, we call them B12, that is specifically found in animal food. So if you are going to be a strict vegan, then you will need the additional vitamins. But I would advocate, sometimes you don't even know the constituents and you're not even sure where it's coming from. And if it's going to give you energy, it can't be only vitamins. It's more likely that there's something else in it. So if you need energy, it's better on going for food. Depending on your metabolism. We've been making this discussion, but metabolism is important.
Okay.
Where you are sitting now, Kwame, if you eat the same thing that someone who is going to the pitch will eat.
Yeah.
You've eaten the same amount of food in terms of calories, and you are sitting down. You're working.
I'm working. I'm talking.
Exactly. But you may work.
I'm expending energy.
You're expending energy. But in 6 hours, the energy that the person on the field playing football would expend will be way more than you do.
Okay.
All right. So if someone is going to, make a comparative analysis, people are different. There are even specific conditions that patients may have that they would eat as much as they would and they will still lose weight. Because their metabolism is sometimes as 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7 times the normal. So until that is dealt with, their metabolism, So to answer the question, I wouldn't advocate for any, and it comes with its own risk, especially if it's not being done by professionals, and if you are not too sure also what the contents are, unless it contains something else, that would. But in fact, the IV is always the last choice to solve many medical problems. You wouldn't want to go for it. I've seen people do therapies like that. They import some from elsewhere and they say they are doing all sorts. I mean, if you haven't talked to your personal doctor, I wouldn't advise you to go for anything IV that would boost your energy or that would give you any form of energy to do anything in the middle of the night or at any point of time whilst you're working.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Benning. Doctor, can an up-and-coming artist who has not started making earnings, can that artist employ the services of a doctor?
Well, it all depends, whilst we have this discussion, the truth is that we need to talk about the financial aspect of it, okay? Sometimes it's cheaper when you are on some form of insurance. It's only here in our country where people have to pay for health from pocket. How many people do that? I mean, in civilized and developed countries, you can't afford it. Yes, that's true. I mean, sorry for my language, but I don't know. But you seem to get what I'm trying to say. No, so it's better if you can't afford it, be on some form of insurance. When you are not too well, we can see you for nothing.
Okay.
And we forward your bill to the private insurance company, and if it's not NHS, and they will pay, and it's way cheaper for you. Because they take the burden of paying the bills, and you don't have to come when you're not feeling well. You don't have to think of how much do I have in my pocket to do this lab or to do this or to do that. So you can't have every healthcare. You can there's something to match everybody. Even if you don't have much, there's something. We can do some basic things that would cover you. He who has 100,000 Ghana cedis, you can still do labs to that would fit and could clear much of that. So there is something to fit everybody. There's something that will fit everybody. It doesn't matter how small your income is or how low your earnings may be. It's better to take care of your health whilst you are active than later on when you would have regrets and wish you would have done things differently when you have much.
I know some creatives, when they are in the creative process, they are writing a story, they are writing a poem, they are writing a play or a song. They don't want to eat for as long as they are into the act. They don't want to touch any food. Is that healthy? Let me come to Mr. Lecha. Is it healthy?
Of course, that's malnutrition. I mean, abstaining from food is bad.
Let's say 12 hours. I've written a song.
Of course, but then if
I want to, okay, it's too long, eh? Ojame, is it too long?
I abstain from food for more than 12 hours every day. Every day, yes.
Let's put this in perspective. I mean, when we eat in the evening and wake up in the morning, we are staying without food for 10, 12, 11 hours. So it's not a new thing that anybody is doing, right? But then if the habit of not eating for performance purposes during the day when you should be eating is the norm, that is where I'm saying it's not the right thing to do or the best thing to do, right? You should rather gain the energy from your food, and that should power or fuel your performance. Otherwise, at the end of the day, even exposing the stomach to or leaving the stomach fallow can expose you to the lining of the stomach to digestive juice.
For how long?
And
for how long are you not supposed to starve yourself?
It's supposed to be every 6 hours. You should have some healthy,
your stomach shouldn't be empty within 6 hours.
Healthy, well-balanced food going into the stomach, right? So you should. But then if a performer, an artist, has a period where, you are low on energy, you don't want to eat, once a while, people do feel that way. It's not like, I mean, a noose is placed around your neck that if you don't eat, you'll be hanged. No. You can be ill and not be able to eat. That's not going to kill you. But then, as part of healthy lifestyles, you shouldn't be abstaining from the food. Yeah.
I'm saying this because if you've been in the studio, music studios with artists, creatives before, you would know what I'm talking about. You know, when you are so engrossed in the activity, you want that melody to be right. You won't leave the song to go eat and come.
Yeah.
You want to finish everything. And especially for those who have studios.
Yeah. So
Who- yes.
that will be convenient for, I mean, the time being.
They are always in the studio.
Yes, it will be convenient, but what we are trying to put across is
Yeah.
that lifestyle. It's just like to say that you are a bank manager, the
Okay.
account is not balanced.
So you don't want to
So you will not eat.
You
You,
won't-
are concentrating. You, will
you won't
not
go for
eat.
break.
You know,
you won't
I-
go for break. You can pay for it.
I saw
Right.
a literature.
Okay.
I think research done by Harvard or is it Oxford of how cardiovascular diseases are lowered in Muslims as compared to other people. And
Okay.
then they came to the conclusion that it's because they fast, because of the number of times they fast during the year for cleansing, for gut cleansing and all that. Even though Muslims are purported to eat a lot of meat, their heart disease risk is lower than other cultures.
Wow.
It's because of fasting.
Were there other factors?
I think this is the one that I took out.
Okay.
And for me, I think that as an artist, silence is the basis of all sound. You can't be eating because you say you should eat. You have to eat at a point, and at a point, don't eat. Because if I'm speaking and I don't pause at a point, there's no rhythm in the speech, and you won't even understand. So the same way as a human being, sometimes when you even have the inclination that you are hungry, sometimes it's just craving. Sometimes it's withdrawal symptoms. It's not every time that you feel you are hungry that you must go and eat. Sometimes you must just drink water. Like he said, sometimes it's this. And sometimes too, if you don't eat for a particular amount of time, there's a process called autophagy that your body goes through, where now your body's enzymes are looking at, okay, something is about to happen to me, so let me quickly go and repair things. Then cancer cells and dead cells and all those things are being brought out of your stool because you didn't eat. So whilst we are talking about ingesting food, we need to also look at a point in the week or a point in the month where you intentionally fast so that there's pause.
Okay. Thank you, Kwame Kwame. Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. How are our creatives, how are they able, or how do they even ensure that they are healthy mentally, physically, in all manner of ways? Let's go on the phone lines now on Zoom and let's speak to Dr. Nana Dansua Nuyama, psychiatrist, Pantan Hospital. Let's finish talking to her now. Doc. Dr. Nuyama, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, we're
Hi,
back. Yes.
Mm.
So let's touch a bit of mental health. I've heard so many artists or creatives complain about this. Adoma, Kamido, or Kwame Kwame just mentioned. There's a lot of them. And I want to ask, even before I ask this question, some time ago, one artist said that he got depressed after losing out on Vodafone Ghana Music Awards nominations. How do they manage such situations?
Okay. So I just want to first say that, like with every human being, okay, our emotions are not fixed. So we have different emotions that we experience based on life's experiences. So when something bad happens, the normal human reaction is to feel sad or feel down or disappointed. And when something great happens, then we feel happy, we're excited, we are thrilled. And these are normal emotions that everyone feels. If you're feeling happy or excited when something bad has happened, and then there's a question mark over there. And this is just to drive home the point that sometimes when it's not everything that every time that we feel down that it's a clinical depression. So clinical depression is an actual phenomenon that must meet a certain criteria for us to say someone's clinically depressed. And that's not to discount the emotions people are feeling or to say that, oh, their person is not feeling bad. So the normal human emotions that we feel, yes, with time, you would get to adjust to it, you get to go grieve the loss, because once you lose something like a competition, it's a some loss that you would have to go through the process of grieving, and most at times it will resolve quite well on its own without much complications. But the genuine truth is that yes, people are at risk of experiencing mental health conditions like depression, like anxiety disorders, amongst others. So with such conditions, when they do come in, yes, ideally you want to even prevent them. So how you cope with stress, how our stress coping techniques are one of the main things that helps us to drive through the difficulties of life. That's how we build resilience, because bad things happen, but we keep picking ourselves up and we keep advancing. All the things we've talked about so far in terms of diet and sleep, rest, all of those go to help us build resilience to thrive even in the midst of all the challenges that we face. However, whenever such things do happen, even after all the preventive interventions have been instituted, help is certainly available where people can reach out and get access to help. And it's in diverse forms. So there are a lot of, and you don't necessarily even have to go to a tertiary facility like Pantan Hospital or the psychiatric hospital, but now the aim is to decentralize it so that most people can access help from general community services within the country. So there's that drive to try and make resources available to individuals, proximal to them, and also within settings that are more comfortable and convenient for individuals.
Nice one there. George Britton says he has a question for you, George.
Yeah, so my question was about factors that contribute to mental health issue, stress, anxiety, and all that with regards to our kids, because that's one key area that we don't really pay attention to. And I can tell you the number of artists who are on that chain. Mental health is a key. It's something that is really destroying most of these guys. I mean, most of them will fall on drugs, like you stated earlier, hard drugs, alcohol, and all sort of, inspiration that they get from someone just to feel good. Now, how do we first of all identify when these crises are coming in, and then how do we as well fight it?
Okay, thank you very much. And those are very laudable questions. So factors that influence activities or that drive these things. So we've spoken from a lot of things we said actually feed into these things, and we should bear in mind that the body and the mind are very related. So yes, biological factors are there. So we talked about the genetic risks and all of those things. So those still translate into the mental health space as well. So there are some people who have come from a family history where they've had relatives who have had depression. Okay, they have a family history of someone dying from suicide, or a family history of different conditions, other mental health condition that puts the individual at an increased risk of experiencing some of these conditions should they have other factors coming in to add on to the initial genetic predisposition. Now, of course, comes in other biological issues. So in terms of people's neurotransmitters, like let's say fluids in the brain and other physiological states people are in, those can also influence and put others at risk of having these conditions. Then the social factors come in. So that's what we talked about, the high expectations, of oneself and also of the pressures, social pressures around the individual. So that's where all these external stresses and internal as well. So the desire to achieve, the stress of having to go through various shows back to back without getting adequate rest. The stress of having to deal with the negative comments after you've put in so much work, hard work, your blood and toil, your sweat, and you believe you've come up with something great, and you put it out there, and now everybody's saying their thoughts that might not work on. All of these negative hits are all stresses in there. And then again, of course, the use of illicit substances also add on as a risk factor for people beginning to develop these other mental health conditions. So the factors are, yes, biological, then also psychological, even how the person views themselves and how others view them. All of these things feed into predisposing someone to having mental health conditions. Okay, how do you identify some of these things? So generally, we would know an individual for like generally how they are like. Okay, the person's nature. So some people are a bit more quiet and more reserved. Some people are a bit more outgoing and very engaging. The person's nature and state is already a well-known baseline. So when we start noticing deviations from the person's baseline, that is consistent. Okay, so it's not like just a one-day phenomenon. Oh, I lost something and I'm down, and then like after a few days I'm back to my usual self. But this continues to translate. It continues to be pervasive. It continues, and you notice that it begins to affect the person's level of function. So the person is not able to do their usual routines. So the person, in terms of their self-care, they are not as involved as before. In terms of how to be productive with work, once it's getting to that level, then you know that there's a huge need to take time and look at the individual. Okay. And then also we should be mindful that in terms of the signs as well. So things like appetite changes. Okay, so notice that the person is not eating as well as before. Their sleep pattern has changed. They're struggling to sleep. Or you notice that now you're not sleeping as well as before. You're struggling to either fall asleep, or you sleep and you keep waking up multiple times, or you notice that you wake up very early, more than 2 hours prior to your usual waking time, and you're really still struggling to fall asleep. Those tend to be very early signs that most people can tease around it. Of course, then the others, based on other symptoms that might come in for things like anxiety, the palpitations, the continuous worry and fear, you know, that is just persistent despite all your intervention trying to get it abated. Those are still signs that can help the individual. Of course, when it comes to substance use, that's like a whole discussion on its own again.
Yeah.
But once people are using it, you notice that a lot of signs can show up. And of course, we don't want people to hit the extreme where now the speech they are saying doesn't make sense. They are pointing at things that you can't see. Then obviously everybody knows that, hey, now we are really hit into the mental health thing. But that is like the extreme end. Most of these things would have started much earlier on. Seemingly slight changes that would then grow with time. And so just pay attention to yourself, and you notice that your usual self, there's a change which is continuous, and it's gradually progressing and beginning to affect how you function. Then you should know that it's a good time to pause and look, reevaluate that aspect.
Good one there. Dr. Nana Danswa Nuyama, psychiatrist at the Pantan Hospital. Thanks so much for your time, Doc. George?
Yeah, sorry. Another factor is money a factor? Lack of money.
Absolutely. Lack of money is a major stressor. That is a huge
it can get you depressed.
Especially when you have to keep up a front of having money. When you don't have money, then it's even double stressor. You know, so if you're in your quiet zone, you don't have money, you're trying to adjust, that's it. But then lack of money is a major stressor. But bear in mind also that your support systems during all of these things is important. So life will come with a lot of stress in different forms. You know, the lack of money is not just with regards to creatives. It's something everybody now is facing, you know, but how we have support systems structured to help individuals deal with all the stress. And stress comes in diverse forms. And mind you, one thing that might be a stressor to me might not be a stressor to you. So we might be in the same situation, having similar amounts. But for me, it might not really be a stressor, but for another person, it may be a huge stressor. So these things are not necessarily fixed in stone, but being mindful of that during this period, I'm going through a bit more than my usual. What I find overwhelming is what we have to bear in mind. And of course, looking out for one another. So individuals sometimes might not pick it up themselves, even when they start having these changes. And sometimes external people close to individual might notice that, you're a bit different from how we know you, and just asking the how are you, a genuine how are you, not expecting the routine, I'm fine, but like looking, no, I've noticed these things, what is really going on. just giving people avenue to just talk and share what their concerns are. That might be the first step leading into getting people to get well.
Thank you, Dr. Nana Danswa Nuyama, psychiatrist at the Panton Hospital. And thank you, George Britting, artist manager, Bulldog. A big thank you for your time this evening right here, Joe 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. Let me get in here and pick final thoughts from my guests. Yeah, let me start with you, Dr. Joseph Benning. Now, what advice do you have for our creatives? Final advice before we go.
Thanks a lot, Kwame. Well, in the initial part of the conversation, I think we should have really looked at health, but because of time, let's remember the WHO definition of health.
Okay.
In fact, Ochame typified everything. That's why I was saying that he
no
was
way. You can just sum everything up with that.
Complete state of physical, mental, and then social well-being, and not just the absence of diseases. So if you realize, Ochame was talking about physical, which was the backache, mental, which was the anxiety and depression, and then the social aspect. So all aspects of his health were affected. So it's not just the physical aspect. Your social health needs to be well, your mental health needs to be well. All right. And if it's not, then you can't say that you are well. Health is important. We need to take care of our health. There's no substitute. Your body has got to last you a lifetime. And earlier we start making decisions that would keep us healthy, the better it is for all of us. We've made a lot of discussions about a lot of things, especially including exercise. What I would like to say is that usually when there's this sensitization, people want to go to the extremes. They want to start and then giddy.
Yeah,
you're going to get into big problems. Please, exercise needs to be graduated. There are limits, even recommended limits. Spread between 4 to at least 5 days a week. About 150 hours of moderate exercise that will let you sweat. Well evenly spread. If you're going to start, you can't achieve. If you stop exercising for a long while, if you've never even exercised and you're going to start, it's better to get a physical trainer who is going to take you through all the exercise. And if not, you might start developing certain complications or start having very dark urine, and you may not really know what's going on. I mean, it's not as simple as we've discussed it. I mean, time will not allow us. It needs to be graduated, very, very graduated. And if you're going to, even with your diet, try and see some professionals. Let them help you if you have serious, health issues, like we discussed with your cholesterol, with your blood pressure, with your sugar or whatever. There are professionals that would help you. You can't do everything by yourself. Like a preacher I was listening to would say, he who tries to be El Shaddai shall die. You can't do it all. He who
tries to be
El Shaddai shall die.
Bars!
You can't do it all. That's why even in medicine, we call it multidisciplinary team.
Okay.
So you're talking about the dietitian being on it, the physician being on it, this other person being on it. And there are even other people that at some point in time, depending on who we are dealing with, you have these people come on the team to help at a specific point in time. But there's that need. So we need to take that conversation from there and make sure that we are each other's keeper. I'm responsible for my health, but if we are all each other's keeper, then we are able to make sure that we are all healthy and we will live much longer and we will live much happier lives. The season is not as friendly now. There are a lot of stresses, like Dr. Nyama was saying in the system, Black Star stress, tax stress, everything is stressing people. So we all need to make a concerted effort to try and keep each other healthy, and it will go a long way in helping all of us, not just only as creatives, but as citizens of the land. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph Benning. Yes, Ochame Kwame. Before we go,
so for my last words will be, I'll have two.
Okay.
One for media and then one for artists.
Great.
Young artists. So for media, please, now that you have started this, especially the bloggers.
Okay.
Artists are human beings. He comes to sit on a platform like this and speaks out his heart and shares his vulnerable moments. And then you take that and twist it for clickbait. And everyone is calling him. Because of that, some girl he wants to marry says no. People are beginning to see him in a certain light because you want clickbait. If you love the artist, stop that. I know that I can't ask my favorite arm robber to stop robbing me. However, I'm pleading with you. I think that for top media houses like multimedia, can bring people together with the Ministry of Culture.
True.
To look at the mental health implications of some of these broadcasts, so that so that is what I want to say from the outside stimuli.
Okay.
And for the artist, I think that you need to build mental resilience, you personally, because you need to understand that what people are doing, the world is not happening on your clock. Yes, you have 2.5 million followers on Instagram, but they are following you to see something. They are not yours. You can't own them. When people insult you on Twitter and Facebook and other things and say you shouldn't own it, because that is what they want to do. You must also find a way to do what you want to do, no matter what is happening around you. So build mental resilience and know that even though you are celebrated, the world is not happening on your clock. And I think that if you do this and listen to your body, you listen to yourself, pay attention, then don't intoxicate yourself with too much data, with too much reading, with too much alcohol, with too much pills, with too much sex. If you don't intoxicate yourself with all these pleasures and you are in tune with yourself, you can hear if your heart is about to get an attack. Thank you.
Thank you. Ochiame Kwame, rap doctor, love doctor. Yeah, love equation man. The love equation man. He's been trending on social media. Is it for good reason?
Of course. Of course, it's Valentine. So.
Bra Kwame. Mr. Lecha, yeah, finally before we go.
Yeah, thank you. I would say eat well. For the people in the creatives, have a plan for your meals, as well as you have plans for all the other things that you have or you do, because the food you eat determines how healthy you are in the medium term. So eat well, and like we said from the beginning, keep it simple, keep it balanced. None of us had the opportunity to really even define anything, because we used Ochiame Kwame as a case study. Make sure that your meals are well balanced. You have a little bit of starch, a little bit of protein, a little bit of oil. You eat fruits so many times a day, and then you drink enough water and all that. Above all, make solid plans for healthy meals, and don't just think about the performance alone. Think about your body, think about yourself, what will help you, and do that. Thank you.
Brilliant one there. Mr. Lecha is a dietitian and an author. He has a book. He has 3 books, actually. One is titled Live Long by Eating Well, and then he has another one titled Be Your Own Dietitian. And then the last one says Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases. So just get these books.
www.lechabooks.com.
Yes. Okay.
You can request for the books over there, or you call 059-566-7197.
Awesome.
I don't talk anywhere without mentioning this thing.
Okay, Mr. Lecha. Chief Moomin, my brother. Yeah.
Before my final comment, I've always wondered, is any man really inspired by another man in boxer shorts to go and buy boxer shorts? I mean, I've never thought of, this guy is looking hot in the boxer shorts. Let me also go.
You understand the love equation.
But I don't want to make a comment.
I know what you're thinking about.
Because you have to know that it will look good on the man, Anyway, so I started hard drink.
Chief Moomin.
I started on the note that we all have to be conscious of our health. Yeah. And I actually like to end on a twist. Not even a twist, because this is actually a showbiz, right? It's about art.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe as artists too, we may have a responsibility ensuring that we do not use our image and our content to promote unhealthy lifestyles, which is really something that you find a lot, we do, how we glorify alcohol and things, because art is all about aspirations, right? So if the aspirations that we paint for people out there is that you have to be able to drink the best champagne or things so that you are considered successful, you have to be able to the trappings of modern day life, go to some kind of restaurant, eat some kind of food. So I'm just trying to twist it and say that as artists, not only should we be conscious about what we put in our system, but actually what we put out there through our art, and how it also encourages people to live a particular lifestyle. Obviously, I'm not asking the artists to be dietitians or whatever, but we may also have to be conscious in the kind of messages that we transmit, because art is the most powerful tool to influence behaviors and attitudes and the way people think, right? So in terms of our content, how we glorify some of these lifestyles, if we really want to see people change their lifestyles, if we want to see a more healthy population, a more healthy artist and a more healthy population, we may be able to think of some of the subtle messages, even in the choices we make in our music videos and all of that, some of the subtle messages that we can put in there that encourages people consciously or subconsciously to live healthy lifestyles. But I am also encouraged by this conversation. As I said, I am already conscious, but I need to be more deliberate about the choices I make, about the actions I take. I know that's for the meat there, to be frank with you. To cut it out will be a problem. But how do you do it in moderation?
Yeah.
And how do you do it competently? Because sometimes when we're going to buy that bochi, we intentionally ask him to cut the oily part. Why is it that all the sweet things in this world are oily? I mean oil,
Kwame, finally before we go, I know this young lady who wants to buy your boxer shorts love equation for her boyfriend.
Okay, so to answer your question, why is all the sweet things deadly? The Ashantis have the adage for it. So let me come back here. So if you are looking to buy the boxer shorts,
yes,
please visit www.okweld.com.gh.
okweld.com.gh.
When you go front page, you can just
what's the front
add
page?
to cart. Yes,
the front page.
Yes, the front page. And also, if you want to call, you can call 531 0531 10007 10007 at 0531 100 707.
Great.
I have a question.
Great.
For the lady. Does the boyfriend look like Kwame?
We sell boxer shorts.
Thank you very much, Kwame Kwame, musician. And a very big thank you to you, Dr. Joseph Benning, physician.